What's it like to be a mom and be addicted to heroin? I'm Suki.
What is it like being a mother that struggled with active addiction while she was pregnant? That's my experience. This is my girlfriend Suki, you guys. And when I tell you, her story and my story are a lot alike, but they're totally different too. I really want you guys to go check out her page. She was addicted to heroin, and she also wrote a memoir, a story all about her life, her addiction, her recovery, and so much more. And she is starting to share her journey here on TikTok with all of you guys. So please go check out her content. But let me get into sharing with you guys what it was like for me. I was addicted during pregnancy, and then I was also addicted after I gave birth to my son. And I was addicted to stimulants, methamphetamine, during my pregnancy and after I gave birth to my son. And Suki actually struggled with heroin. So we are a lot different in that aspect. So, one of the biggest issues I had was not feeling like I could ask for help. I felt so much shame and so much guilt that I thought that if I reached out or I told anyone that I was struggling with methamphetamine addiction while I was pregnant, that they would storm in, induce my labor, and take my child from me right then and there. I was so scared, so I told nobody. And I went to all my prenatal visits, passed all my drug screens, because of course all these appointments were scheduled. So I would work my drug use around those prenatal appointments. My little boy ended up coming a little bit earlier than expected, and I was actually high and had been high all night that night when I went into labor with my little boy at 5 a.m. on July 3rd morning. I'll never forget it. It was July 3rd morning, and I had this stabbing pain in my back. And I woke my mother-in-law up, and I said, I think I'm going into labor. My husband got home at about 8 a.m. and took me to the hospital, and that's when they told me I was 1 centimeter dilated. So I begged them, please let me go home, and, I'll come back when I'm dilated more. And that's what I did. I came back that night at like 8:30 p.m., and I was 8.5 centimeters dilated. I gave birth to my son at 1 o'clock in the morning on July 4th, and he was a miracle. My son was a miracle. I just knew that they were going to take him away from me, so I doubled down. I was praying to God, please, Lord, just let me walk out of here with my son. Please don't let them take my baby from me. And a miracle happened that day. A miracle happened. They didn't say anything to me about using drugs. They didn't say that my son had drugs in his system. In fact, my son was born so healthy, and they never said anything about substance use to me. So 2 days later, I checked out of the hospital, me and my son, and we went home, and I stayed sober for 90 days, white knuckling it without any support, which, looking back on it, when I had my son, I should have went into therapy, got into meetings, started working with somebody that could coach me, and got in outside recovery support, and I would have been successful at staying sober. But I didn't, and I just white knuckled it, and I relapsed after 90 days sober. For the next year, I was in a relapse, a methamphetamine. I was also shooting opioids and taking benzos. And 2 days before my son's first birthday, CPS came and took my son. If you want to know more about that experience, I have a video that I uploaded before this one. But the shame of being a mother that struggles with substance use disorder, it's like nothing I can explain to you. Because, our children are such important, sacred little beings, and we're supposed to protect them, and we're supposed to love them, we're supposed to be there for them. And when I was taking substances, I was not doing any of those things. I was only thinking of how I would feel, and I was being selfish, and I realized that today. So being somebody that struggles with addiction and being a mom can be really lonely at times. And that's why I find support and love with people like Suki who have been through addiction and motherhood, and we can relate our stories to each other. So if you guys are a lot like me, please check out Suki's TikTok account. She's going to be answering you guys' questions, so you can leave her some questions. But I think you'll really, really like her content, and also check her book out. But I wanted to share a little bit about what it was like for me being a mom that struggles with addiction. Now I'm 8 years sober, and I've had custody of my son for 7 of those years, and my life couldn't be better.